Hello guys, so today I'm going to show you a technique of drawing that is going to improve your drawing as a beginner a lot. So this technique is just like scribbling, like you just scribble in a, like draw small lines in a general direction and let your brain figure out the image. It's kind of like that. I'll just show you how it's done and then we can see what the final result also looks like. So this is the image that I have chosen and I'll try to make this with my technique. I wonder if anyone else has done it. I'm not going to research it or whatever. I just found out about it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. First thing first, I usually start with the head. So I'll just scribble a general like shape of Goku's head. It does not have to be like perfect. Just make a general shape. That is what we are doing here. I usually start with the head, but I do not complete the head in the beginning because the head is like kind of a measuring guide, you could say, for me, and the detailings I do in the end. It does not matter if this is like really dirty because you can always erase the other lines. So the face kind of looks like that, the shape of the head. You can ignore this line, or maybe I'll erase it just a second. Yeah, so the head shape is kind of like this. It's not perfect, but something like that. And now I'm going to use this head shape and make the body accordingly to the proportions of the head. So like I can see that the upper body is like about 2 heads long like this, so maybe somewhere till here, like 1 2, and it does not have to perfect as I said. And right here will be his belt. Okay, so now the next step after the head I do is the neck. So we'll do the neck right here. Usually it is what do we say, it takes time. It is not like you can just do it and you get a good enough drawing, but it is actually better than most as what we beginners do. Something like this, something like you get a general area under the, like if the line was about here, so we get lines in the general area, and you can actually fix it afterwards as well, so it is not a big deal. You can slowly go over there towards the shoulders, and now I can see that the neck looks a little bit too broad according to the image, so I can just make lines a little bit inside. Lines on the inner side may be the correct lines, something like that, and we can then move on. We're just trying to make a general shape out of it, and as the image gets drawn more and more, you can actually figure out what's being wrong. Like I can see a little bit that maybe this right shoulder is a little bit more forward, so I can then maybe correct the angle a little bit more, and I'll just fast forward it so that you guys can see, because this is a general idea. You just correct however you like and just eyeball it, so you don't have to trace it or whatever, and it turns out really good actually in the end. So we can just fast forward it. If you want to see it in slow, then you can maybe decrease the video speed. Alright, so we are up to this point now, and it actually looks pretty decent if you have to say anything about it. I mean, I think it's pretty decent considering the image that we were making. And this is actually the general idea. We actually just make lines, and you have to just eyeball like where the lines are actually, like the torso for the upper body, like maybe we have one line over here where his costume is ending right here, and the legs actually start somewhere around here. So we have to like just eyeball it, that where it starts, and maybe eyeball the angle as well, like maybe this angle is a little bit more steep, or maybe this angle is a little bit more straighter, so something like that, and we just go on doing this for the whole picture. Now that I have found the lines where I have to actually draw, I can make those lines a bit darker. And if you feel something is off, like I have made his forearms a bit wider, so I'll have to just change the position, and I'll erase it, and then I'll just redo that portion again. Like you can see, I'm making the logo right here, so it is in a circle. So I am not making a perfect circle here, I'm just like scribbling kind of. I'm just making general lines which make it look like a circle, because our brain actually is getting tricked, and it is finding the best lines which actually represents a circle. So we just give it a general idea, and I guess we can make the whole logo as well, which will actually look something like that. And now if I look at it from like a distance, maybe I'll just erase this line over here. Okay, now I'm actually kind of happy with the body, and now we are at the moment when we can when I usually move towards the head and finish up the head now, because now the body is done pretty well, and now we can move on. This also has the similar method. I'm just seeing the angles where the head actually is versus where I drew it, and I'm just making those changes. Like his head is actually tilted a bit towards the left, but I have drawn it a certain way, so I'm just trying to shift it towards the left a little bit. While I'm doing this hair, I'm actually using different markers, like where the hair actually ends. So the hair actually ends right above here, like that, and where the hair actually begins, and it begins somewhere around here, so I'll have to pull it back a little. What the angle the hair is at, and where the other hair begins, the other hair is beginning somewhere around over here, so I'll have to just adjust it like that, and we'll get something decent actually from this technique. Like here I can see on the screen that the first hair which is over here actually ends somewhere around here, so maybe somewhere around here, because it is in the middle of the ear as well, so you can eyeball it like that. Okay, so we do have something like this. Now it's for the face, so I'll just erase these guys which I made before this line right here. I'll just erase that. I'll just try my best not to erase the hair which I drew, but guess what, even if I did, I can just redraw it. Okay, and I think it looks pretty decent. And now I'll just make the mouth and the eyes. So I'm just seeing right here the eyes are kind of beginning right here maybe. Now here is a little bit of a delicate part, because for the face, if I do a lot of scribbling kind of drawing, it will not look that great, so I have to go with some lighter strokes here. I'm going really lightly right here because there is no line on the image which I have chosen. And it does look a little bit weird. That is because I have not drawn the pupils yet and there are no eyebrows. We'll just finish that up. Just go really slowly on the face, guys. You can mess it up really fast. Got that. I'll just do the pupil so that the image does not look super weird, which I'm drawing. I guess that is the correct shape of the pupils. And we can slowly fill it in. Okay, one is done. Second one. Okay, now I can see that on the image the left pupil is a little lower than the right pupil, but I have drawn them kind of on the same line, so I'll just maybe pull it a little down. Maybe you can zoom it in, editor, zoom it in. And now when I'm kind of got it, then I'll just darken these guys up. Okay, it actually looks kind of great now. Now I'll just have to do the nose and the mouth, and maybe there is a little bit of shadow for the chin as well, so I'll do that. Okay, so Goku's mouth is actually somewhere around here. That looks way too high up for some reason, but it is like that. Maybe I'll just try to bring it a little lower, and you have to see for your art style, I guess. It is not necessary that it has to look exactly the same. I have made this face a little stretched out. Goku's face is a little bit smaller, if you could say it like that. So that is why I think I'm getting a bit of problems here. But you can't do anything about that. His nose is really tricky to make, because his nose is kind of like just a shadow. And I'm not actually shading here anywhere. I'll just do these lines which are over here. And now what I can do is, these lines over here which are on the bottom of his face, they are actually making it look like his face is a little longer. So I can just erase a little bit of that. And as you can see, if I erase lines, the shape actually goes looking like how a new guy draws. So I'll just have to adjust that. Like you can if I see it right now, this point is somewhere over here maybe, and it is a little bit rounded as well. So too many lines on the face have actually ruined the face a little bit, but we can actually fix that if we work around it really slowly. Okay, now the ear looks a little bit bigger for some reason. These things happen, okay? I'm just making some drawing, and over time, because I'm looking at for like what, 35 minutes I've been looking at this drawing. So these things actually do happen, but I was just showing you can actually take your time. And I think the kind of technique I'm using, I am actually pretty happy with it, and I'll be done actually. I'm not going to change it any further. I am feeling like that. So sometimes you can stop as well wherever you want. You don't have to be exactly as the image that you are drawing, because this is my style. I have done this. You can see. Editor, if you can put the image as well. And it's actually pretty decent, I would say, for someone who does not draw regularly at all. Alright, so here it is in a bit of natural lighting, and I would say for me it's pretty good actually. It's my art style. I have not traced anything, I just made how I could, and I guess in the end that's the main thing. As a beginner or an intermediate, if you can make something that actually resembles the thing you're drawing, it's actually a pretty good feeling. I'll just show you one more which I did yesterday. Alright, I made this yesterday. This was Saitama from One Punch Man, and This also looks pretty decent. His face looks a little bit weird because I don't draw regularly, as I said before. But the fact that you can actually sense that it is that character is just mind-boggling. So maybe use this technique. Let me know in the comments if it works for you, how it goes, and I hope that this video helps you.